How's it going, everybody? Today, we're taking a look at my entire disc collection. Now, technically, I have done this video before, but today's is going to be a little bit different. First of all, the last time I showed you my disc collection, it was over a year ago. And working in the disc golf industry, being as involved with disc golf as I am, that collection has already grown a lot and changed quite a bit as well. But there's a more important reason I'm showing you my disc collection again today. Some of you might not have seen it the first time, but we just hit a huge milestone on this channel. That is 30,000 subscribers, which is incredible. We've been tracking that for a little bit now, and we finally reached it. I am just like over the moon with this achievement. I just started this channel, I believe in August of 2023, so we haven't been around for too long, but already to hit 30,000 subscribers is incredible. And the reason for this video is I wanted to show my gratitude to you, the viewer. So I'm doing a pretty unique and special giveaway that I hope will be pretty cool for whoever has a chance to win. So let me explain how this is gonna work. So throughout the course of this video, I'm gonna be taking you through my collection. I'm gonna be going over, not every single disc, obviously, but giving you a gist of what I've got here, show off some of the cool discs I've been able to acquire. And as I'm showing you, you should probably take note and try and pay attention to what kind of discs you might like from this collection, because one of you is going to have a chance to shop this collection. And by shop, I mean pick out a bunch of discs that you see in the collection completely for free that I will ship to you. I'm not going to make you pay for it. That's right, I'm going to be picking 3 of you to pick 5 discs each from this collection that can be absolutely yours, free of charge. I wanted to do this as a chance to give back and give you some unbridled access to the discs that I've been able to acquire, because the reason I have these many discs is because of people like you that support me and watch the channel and have given me a platform in this disc golf industry anyway. So yeah, you know, I'm more than happy to share. Now, I will say there are the occasional discs in this collection. For example, I still have the first putter that I ever got in disc golf. This is off limits. There are a few sentimental discs in here. Sentimental, I should say, but not many. Most of these discs you'll see are completely on limits. You know, there may be some that are worth money or rare. Doesn't matter. It's all yours if you want it. So be paying close attention during this video. And here's how you're going to enter the giveaway if you are interested in this incredible opportunity to shop this collection. Not the best collection, but there's a lot here. So what you're going to do is first you're going to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Okay? Got to make sure you're one of the 30,000 strong. Then you're going to make sure if you have Instagram or X that you're following me there. You can find me Trev Staub on Instagram. You can find me on X or Twitter at FDG_Trevor there. And then you're going to comment down below maybe your favorite disc from the collection, one that you'd really love to get your hands on, and as well comment your Instagram or Facebook or X handle, something on social media to where I can then reach out to you and let you know if you've won, because it always makes it easier that way that I can connect with you and pick the winners. But 3 of you are going to win, and then if you win, I'll be contacting you and basically be talking back and forth with you to decide which discs you want. You can kind of pick them out, you can ask me questions, and we can really go back and forth and narrow it down, and then I'll ship them out to you. So it's going to be a really personal shopping experience for my own collection I'm very excited about. But enough of that. That's how you can enter. I'm going to show you what I've got, and we're going to go through the collection here, and yeah, be paying attention, because any of these discs could be yours. Excuse the storage shelves behind me. We are in my basement. That's where the unfinished part of my basement is where we keep the discs. But I'm just going to start all the way on the left side of my racks and move over. I did, just before filming this, go through the painstaking process of sorting all my discs. I had originally had them sorted whenever I first moved in to this home. And then they just kind of got out of control as new ones were added in, and you know, my son would pull them off the racks and whatever. And I just went through and literally organized them all by manufacturer. They're not all manufactured or sorted by mold. I couldn't do it. You know, it's been a long day, but I went through and made them all by manufacturer, so that way we can at least you know, get a pretty good idea of where everything is at. So I'm very confident in knowing at least where that is. So we'll start up here in the upper left. I have 1, 2, 3 rows. Yeah, 3 rows of Discraft here, it looks like, and I think that's all of my Discraft. Just 1, 2, 3 rows. So we'll just kind of go through here and pick out what's cool. One disc that I actually have quite a few of that not a lot of people carry are drones, because I put them in my bag here and there. I really like the drone. I got some of these crystal Presnell ones that I've kept around. Here's another cool disc right off the bat. This is the Test Flight Banger GT Topped Zone. A lot of people blame myself and Hunter for getting this disc to win the competition because it was just more fun, but I totally get that it's not the most practical disc, but I still enjoy it. Let's see what else we got on here. Got some of the Kratos. I got a lot of different stalkers. This one was actually sent to me. This is one of the cooler ones I have. I'll try and pull out like a bunch of the similar types of molds I have. This would have been helpful if I had this part sorted, but no worries. I don't have that many discs at this point that it's that hard to pull out some cool ones, because I know here's a few stalkers that are really cool. This one is actually a glow stalker from the 2013 AM World Championships. This was sent to me. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think somebody from Twitter may have sent this to me, but I definitely will bag this at some point. I throw a lot of stalkers. I've been layering them in my bag. I have 2 right now, and this would be one that I would definitely put in there. This is a cool one I got here. This is what the Thanksgiving throwdown at Ballou Park in Danville, Virginia stamped. I wasn't at this event, but I love a random tournament stamp. And this is one of my coolest ones here. I'm not sure if this shows well in the light, but let me see if I can get it on the camera. Yeah, there we go. You can see a Paige Pierce stalker with the TI stamp on it. This is actually given to me by Paul Macbeth. I used to have his signature. Yeah, it's kind of faded on it. I had 2 of these. I had another one as well, but they're kind of more overstable stalkers, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I love the stalker. I always try to keep a few of that mold handy because I like layering them through my bag, even though I usually keep them for a while. I also have a pretty cool ESP Swirl Alexis Mandahano stalker there as well. I don't throw the ESPs as much, but they're good. I'm just going to plop these discs on the ground as I grab them, and I'm sure I'll regret that later. I'll show off some of the zones I have, because I do have some pretty cool ones. One of my favorites is this Pastry Dyes one. It has like the Foundation logo in there a ton. It's ESP Swirl. I really like the ESP zone. I have another one right here, actually. This is an Eagles Crossing ESP one that was in my bag for a while, because I think the ESP zones just fly a lot straighter. They're a little more forgiving, and I really enjoy them for backhand shots. Also have some baseline zones that are pretty cool. Got this Foundation bar stamped Jawbreaker zone, and then a CT zone here from Ledgestone back in 2020. This was like the first Ledgestone I was ever working at Foundation for, and it's kind of when they brought back CT plastic, really stiff baseline plastic, which is pretty neat. I've also got some cool Passions I'll show you. Let's see if I can find the other one. I know this one is pretty sweet. Come on, where are you? This is why you sort the molds, Trevor. Okay, well, this one right here is from when Foundation's channel hit 100K on YouTube. He ran a limited run of these. We might have only run 100 for 100K. And a pretty cool stamp on there to commemorate that. So this is one of those sentimental discs I was mentioning that you cannot request to have this. There's not many of them, but it's something that like is meaningful for a particular moment. Oh, this is a disc I have to show off. Check this out. I found this in the used section at our store. This is George Washington riding a shark on a wave maybe, or going to the moon, and it's a Buzz. And like, I don't ever have any desire to throw this, but that stamp was just too good to pass up. I mean, come on now. I'm a sucker for a unique disc always. Okay, here's the other Passion I was looking for. This is a cool one. You only got this disc if you were a Heiser Club member, which is our Patreon program at Foundation. So that's kind of a rare disc. I've got a few of these Halloween Buzzes. I really like when they ran it in these this glow plastic. Feels super good. This is probably my favorite one they've done in recent years, the Scream themed one. They always do the Halloween themes, and some of them are really creepy. This one I thought was like creepy but tasteful, if you know what I mean. Like some of them really freak me out though. I know they did a Chucky one. What was that? What was this year's? Was this year's Chucky? I don't remember. They've done something that absolutely creeped me out. The Pinhead one, don't even get me started on that. That one absolutely freaked me out. Some other cool stuff I got in here. This is a fun one. This was a crank that Hunter dyed with Prison Mike from The Office. Make sure I got that framed up nice for you. Pretty good job on that, honestly. That was a tough die. I've got some older Discraft. I can show you. I've got like this old ESP Nuke. Forgive if you can hear my family stomping around up there. I think it's bath time. I've got this old ESP Nuke right here. I've also got like an old Crystal Z Challenger. I love when Discraft did these stamps that like really like got out of the way of the disc. It just gave so much opportunity for cool custom stamps. I don't know, it's just such a classic look. This one's also cool because they stamped the back of the disc to make it show through the front. Like, nobody's doing stuff like that anymore. I absolutely love it. Rest of the Discraft, I don't know if I have anything else too crazy. Oh, I do have one more zone. This zone right here is an old Z Flex zone. One of the best zones I've ever thrown, and people were always trying to get it off my hands. There's actually another disc in here just like it. This is another one, this Soft X zone. Every time I would throw it, people were dying to know if I would give it up. But it was such a staple in my bag. But hey, if you win the giveaway, you can take this disc. This is a disc that means a lot to me, but not so much that you couldn't have it. Because if you win the giveaway, you know, I want to do what's best. So yeah, I got a Zone OS here that says beef instead of the flight numbers. That was something they did for the first run. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if anything else. I've got the waffle cake Brody Smith Ezra 8-year-old Buzz. That's pretty neat. But yeah, Discraft, like rarity, you know, I'm very new to the Discraft stuff, as are a lot of people. So there's nothing like too insane going on. One other thing that I really like in my collection is oh, this is great. I have an ESP Buzz that was custom dyed. This is my childhood dog, Sunny. He's still alive somehow, barely, but it doesn't live with me anymore. That is my childhood dog on there. I still also have some of these CT UV buzzes we ran at Foundation. Still one of my favorite runs to this day. Got a good bit of buzzes, but yeah. That about does it for Discraft. Nothing too crazy going on. We'll move on to the next section. So, down to our bottom two rows here. These are my, like, niche brands. I have another kind of section of niche brands, but this is one of them. So, there's a whole lot of a mess here. We've got a couple Thought Space discs here. I got, what is this, an Omen, I think? Yeah, an Omen. This is a Pathfinder that Anthony Bedanza gave to me. I've got a couple Pro Discus molds here. This Jokery was like everything back when Kevin Jones was throwing it, if you remember. Never quite agreed with me. I think it's a fine disc, though. I've only got a couple Castoplast discs. Just never a huge Castoplast guy. I like their brand a lot, but I don't know. I never really bought in a ton. I've got some mint discs here. This was one that we did on the Phoenix, a custom stamp that is like me fighting a Phoenix. It was an interesting stamp. It was one of our first attempts at like a personality type stamp, but still love the Phoenix. Got a few of those. I also have all my Trash Panda in here. I do have a really cool Trash Panda disc. If you guys are like, I think, is this it right here? Yeah, if you guys are like in on the Trash Panda knowledge, they did a pretty cool box, I think last year at some point, that Jesse sent me one that had like some of the original inner cores, and I've got number 370 right there. Pretty sick. If you're a huge Trash Panda fan and you win the giveaway, you could have number 370 here. I would be sad to part with it, but you know, if you're a big Trash Panda fan, it's all yours. So yeah, that's pretty neat. I've had some other inner cores that I've gotten from Jesse over the years, and I like their company a lot. Let me know in the comments if you like Trash Panda. I think their marketing and their branding is really awesome, and they do some stuff with that nobody else is doing. So that's pretty sweet. Got some EV7 putters. You know, I like their branding. I like what they're doing with these stamps. Like, they're a pretty good time. You know, they were trying some different stuff there with like the 5. And I like their molds too. They just never really launched off. It was a pretty ambitious move, that company in general, you know. I also have some Legacy molds here. If you've never thrown some of these, they're so good. Legacy isn't really popular, but like the Ghost, the Gauge, I think this is a Rival. This is a Rival I got from the Las Vegas Halloween Classic 2022. I played in that event. One of the few tournament custom stamps I have where I actually did play in that event. And then this here is a, what was this thing called? An Enemy, I think. One of the best overstable fairways I've ever thrown, the Enemy. This is an amazing disc. If you go down to this last row here, some really niche stuff. This was sent to us by Visionary, the company that makes the disc golf nets. This is the Amethyst. It's like a straight mid-range that I'm pretty sure MVP made, and I'm pretty sure it's very similar to like a Pathfinder or a Mustang from Mint. Very close to a Mustang from Mint, if not the same. Feels great, flies great, cool stamp, but nothing like brand new. And then this whole section was sent to us by a company called Pan Discs. I haven't got a chance to really throw them yet. I'd like to. They have some interesting molds in here and some like fun names. And like some of their plastics pretty like cool to look at, I would say as well. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to try these out. The Grunt, pretty nice. So yeah, that's kind of like two niche rows. We've got some more of those that we'll get to next. Okay, so I got two more bottom rows here of like niche stuff. This is like super niche down here. So this is an Arobi Epic. If you've never heard of this, look at the back. That should give you a clue as to why this disc is weird. It's got a thicker side and a thinner side. It's basically meant to be like you can throw overhands with it and get it to turn all the way into a normal flight of a disc. Like it flips all the way over and then flies like a hyzer. But the problem is you have to be able to throw a massive overhand. If you can, this disc rocks. If you can't, it's sad. I am in the can't category. The rest of these discs are starter set discs for the most part. Because at Foundation, we mess around with a lot of starter sets. There's also cool discs like, also cool discs like this is a prototype Sea Turtle from Ocean Discs. If you've never heard of Ocean Discs, they're making discs out of like ocean recycled plastic. And it's really good plastic. So that's a prototype from them. And then some other random stuff in there as well. I think I also have the weird, like, complete puddle top. It's actually like a bowl. This is the Neon from Loft discs. And yeah, just some random stuff. This shelf, there's some more like good niche plastic. So I've got a couple Yikun hammers. This disc had a whole bunch of hype in COVID back when like there was no discs around and people were like just looking for anything. And so like this mold was fun time. It's an approach disc. It's got like a weird, I don't know what you would even call that, like almost a double thumb track on there. But it's a great flyer and it had a lot of hype. We had a player in our area that was really good that loved them, and so we all kind of bought in. And yeah, it's a really good disc. Also kind of have my Gateway section over here. Got one of my Magics that I had in my bag for a little bit. This Gateway Blaze, first Gateway disc I ever bought back when I was like a teenager, like a little kid basically, first starting in disc golf. I used to throw that a lot. This is a cool one. This is the Wizard. This actually was Conard's Wizard. I kind of stole it because this was the putter that I made my 2,000th putt in, 2,030 footers in a live stream that took me like 9 or 10 hours. So that was part of my life I'll never get back. I've got some cool prototypes from them as well, but nothing too crazy. And then the rest of this is some DGA and some Millennium. I've got some cool old Millennium. This is like a 2-ring Q Mega that's like ancient. And then DGA wise, I don't have anything too crazy. I've got, this is a steady that Katrina Allen signed and sent to me whenever I first started putting with the steady. That didn't really work out for me. I've also got some Quakes in here. Got a couple Quakes that people have dyed for me that are pretty cool. I believe my guy Jacob Phillips may have done this one. Hope I didn't butcher that name. I know it's Jacob something. I think it's Jacob Phillips. I don't think I got that wrong. And then this one was dyed for me as well because I love throwing the Quake. That's my DGA. Pretty limited. But yeah, that's the bottom two rows. Quick look at this middle row here. This is all Lone Star and Hooligan. Most of the Lone Star are these warbirds that I was throwing for a while. These were Chandler Kramer warbirds. It's still like one of the best distance drivers ever to me. They are so overstable and awesome. Gosh, the memories. But I don't really like their business practices very much, so I've got to stop throwing them. And then I have a bunch of stuff from Hooligan. Love their team over there, Garrett, and they've always treated me super well, so I like to support them. Obviously, I throw the cash, so I've got a bunch of caches that they've sent me, and some other cool discs too that I really need to get to throwing at some point. They've sent me this awesome first run thread, which is just gorgeous, and this one is 44 out of 250. Pretty neat. So I've got a few of that. Yeah, a few of this stuff that I've collected, but yeah, mostly caches and warbirds right there. Okay, and lastly, we got these top two shelves here. This is all Latitude, and then just a little bit of West Side here. West Side, I didn't throw a ton of. I've got a couple harps, and then an adder and a bear. Just a few molds on the West Side. Latitude, I have a good bit of, mostly for a few molds. For starters, I threw a ton of Pures. So I've got everything when it comes to Pures. I've got some like old Jesper Lundmark, like baseline ones that are pretty sick. I've got this one that I used to throw that I dyed Kroger on. So I was in a big Kroger kick. And this one throws real great. I also have this cool pastry dyes one. Really stable pure. Goes super far. I also have some Royal Line stuff from them though, because I really love the Glory. Y'all know that. I also love the Honor. Got this Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie or Girl Scout Blizzard dyed one, which is just so sick because, I mean, who doesn't love a Thin Mint Blizzard? Come on now. But yeah, there's not a ton to write home about in the Latitude section. You know, I've also got some stuff from that Project Grip that they did. This was supposed to be like a different plastic on top that gives you more grip, and I like kind of buy into that. So yeah, Latitude does cool stuff though, and so I've collected a bit. I also threw the Diamond a lot, and so I've got a bunch of those, just the super flippy fairways, and also got some cool random stuff like these overmold discs. That's right, Latitude did overmold once. They did a couple different molds. I've got 2 of them, the Fuji and the Zion. They're pretty sick. They did a pretty good job with the overmold. So yeah, that's the Latitude stuff. That does it for the 2 shoe racks. Now we move on to the 2 wooden racks of discs, the nice ones from Heiser Disc Racks. Shout out to them. Okay, so starting over here on the Heiser racks, I've got 2 and a little bit entire rows of Inova. Inova was like my first plastic that I fell in love with. It was the first thing I knew. A lot of players can say the same thing, so I have a ton of Inova. It's definitely evened out, but I used to have like all Inova. So yeah, I kind of teased this earlier, but my most prized disc is this DX AVR, because this is the very first disc that I ever putted with. That I had a starter set. The 3 discs is the only one that I still have. It even still has my old home landline phone number on it, which is pretty cool. And I printed my name back then because I didn't really sign. And yeah, I mean, just beat to death, just a DX AVR. And that is pretty cool to have because it's been over 10 years now since I started playing disc golf. Throughout my Inova section, you probably see the biggest mix of old plastic. Excuse me, sorry about that. Because there's just a lot of it out there. Inova's been around a while, so you'll see a lot of stuff like pre-flight numbers, like this X-Cal here. Or this Star T-Rex, another pre-flight number. That's one thing I look out for the Inova discs. I also try to find like older molds that don't really get made anymore, like this Champion Spider. Oh my. Woo! Getting dominated over here. This has got multi-purpose disc written underneath it, which is pretty neat. So I got old stuff like that, like this old Champ Coyote. I'm always looking for the weird stuff with Inova. You know, just a little bit of everything. I also have my selection of destroyers as well. I've got some cool different custom stamps. This is an old AJ that's like kind of beat to death, but it's an AJ destroyer, so like, you know, you just kind of have to have it. This is a cool one here. This is a pre-flight number 2-time Champ Beast. The Beast was like one of my favorite discs ever. I love it. I probably should throw it again. Yeah, I don't know. I've got, oh, this is one of my prized discs here. I have a ton of rocks, obviously. This one was given to me by Hunter. This is a Will Schustrick 2010 USDGC rock. This one is number 970 of 2,000. That's back when they would run something like a USDGC rock and only make 2,000 of them instead of probably the 10,000 they make now. So yeah, obviously I have a ton of rocks. This is a Champ Monster. This is out of production, but Paul Macbeth started throwing these when I was in college because he thought he was going to put them in his bag. So Inova sent him a bunch, and then he didn't really like them anymore, so he gave them to me and my friends. And yeah, so now I have a Champ Monster. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, just a bunch of rocks, you know. I got like a Inova Air Force rock here that's pretty cool. Just some random custom stamps, some one that Foundation have run. With rocks especially, I'm just looking for the most random things I can. This one's really cool. This is from the Gifford Pinchot State Park Llama Palooza. The llamas are the club there at Gifford Pinchot Park where I played. I was never really a part of the club because I was just a little kid and I didn't really dive into the scene yet. I just like to play disc golf, but I still love the llamas because that's technically my local club. Other Inova, I've got some other cool random stuff like this polecat that is team stamped. Just super random. I have some other team stamped stuff as well. This Wraith, Robbie C gave this to me. Got some cool dyed stuff. This is an eagle that Pastry Dyes did for me. And yeah, just a whole bunch of random Inova stuff. I also have some discs like this. I took the USDGC and got signed by a bunch of people. I got Matty O on here, Ricky, Katrina Allen, I think Kristen Tatar on here. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff like that. And yeah, it's just like a pretty classic Inova assortment. You'll find a lot of Wraiths, a lot of Destroyers, T-Birds, Firebirds. Nothing too insane though. Like I don't have any single discs in my Inova collection that are just like mind blowing for sure. Like I think I only have one Sexton. It's like this 20. I don't even know what year this was. Maybe like 2021 or something like that. So I don't have like insane Inova clout. I just have old random stuff that like I think is cool, but I don't know. I don't know if Inova even has collector value anymore. Like they don't drop like hype drops, and I think that's the only stuff that really makes waves in the collector or in the like eBay markets. So yeah, I don't know how many people find interest in my Inova stuff, but if you do, I respect that because I always think it's really cool, even if it's just random old stuff that nobody seems to really care that much about. So yeah, that's the Inova section. Ooh, this is a cool one. Air Force team stamped swirly leopard. All right, so down to these bottom two rows here. I'll just kind of brush by this. This is just remaining Inova stuff. All of this is Prodigy. I don't have a lot of Prodigy. I don't really have any like really cool Prodigy. I used to throw Prodigy in college. I had good stuff back then, but I gave that to my brother when he was in college throwing Prodigy. So the stuff I have now, I'm not really sentimental about. And there's nothing in here that's that insane, to be honest. This is mostly stock, some stuff that they sent me, but nothing really that cool in the Prodigy section. So you can, if you win, you can inquire about this stuff if you want it, but nothing that crazy. This bottom shelf is all Finish Line stuff. So I spent 1 year, this past year, on Team Finish Line, and they sent me all this awesome plastic, and I'm super grateful for that. A lot of the stuff you'll find down here is obviously Supras, both just like stock ones, and then also like the one I was able to run as a signature disc, which was like a dream come true. So love Finish Line for that. I've also got a ton of eras. It's like pretty much all team stamp stuff. So if you're interested in this, this is something else you can get. But I also have some of their new molds, like the Sector and the Chicane. Some really awesome new molds they've done, and yeah, eras, Torques, rallies, Daytonas, literally everything they've done I've got here over the last year. Just kind of acquired that, and most of it, pretty much all of it, is team stamped. So that is all my Finish Line stuff. I'm super proud of that. Love Finish Line, and Marcus and Drew and those guys were super cool to me. So I'll always love them for that. And yeah, you can snag some of that if you win a giveaway. All right, we're on to the final shelf here. Bear with me. We still got some good stuff left because next we have the Discmania. So the Discmania takes up this entire bottom row plus here. And then from then we get into a ton of dynamics. So with the Discmania, I'll be honest, it is mostly putters because they sent me so many Rainmakers when I was putting with them because they're so cool. And I love Discmania and their staff. I also got some like Sky Gods because I was throwing that for a while. And then I keep these Spores because they're an awesome catch disc. So I've got some of those. And then I've got a little sprinkle of the new stuff that they've done. But I also like, similar to the Inova, anytime I find like original Inova made Discmania, I try to snag it. So I've got some of that stuff. I've got like this one I've had since they were actually being made by Inova, but this is like a S-Line PD2 that's absolutely money. So I do still have some of that really money Discmania stuff. This was like my original P2 that I've thrown this thing. This is actually one of my ace discs right there, you can see. But I've thrown this S-Line P2 since I was a kid. Like I have some old Discmania stuff, but I also have the new stuff like this Shark Hunter MD3 stamp that Foundation ran, and yeah, I've got a pretty good selection of that. This is an original MD4. So if you like the new Discmania, I've got a little bit for you. And if you like the old money stuff, I got a little bit for you there. This is a really cool one. This is a stiff P-line MD4. I don't know how many of those they made, but that's a pretty sick one. But yeah, I don't have an insane Discmania. I've also got a Luster P2. Found that in the used section in Texas. That was pretty awesome. And I know for a fact I've got some like pretty cool. This is a PD2 you might recognize because Gannon throws one just like it. It also has an autograph on the back. I don't think it's anybody famous. They just put their PDJ number in there. But this is a money run at PD2. If you know, you know. So yeah, that's a Discmania. A lot of putters, but some money stuff in there as well. And then we move on to the dynamic. So I've got this row, and then the one above it is all dynamic. I was on Team Dynamic, and there's three molds that take up a lot of this. The Slammer, which you'll see, I mean, I've got literally so many Slammers, it's not even funny. This might not be all of them, but just off the top of my head, these are all Slammers. Yeah, I've got these green ones. These things are money. I've even got a Lucid one that I don't know how many of these they made, but some guys sent this to me, and I'll forever be grateful because it's kind of like rare as far as Slammers go. So Slammers, I have a ton of. Judges, I have an absolute ton. Oh, here's more Slammers. These white ones are all Slammers. I have a bunch of Judges. This is the one I got my first and only disc golf win with back in 2014. So I've got a bunch of those because Judges have always been my favorite throwing putter. This is one of my prized ones here, this Armadillo stamp that Foundation actually did this stamp with Emerson Keith before I worked at Foundation. One of the best throwing judges ever. And then I also have a ton of Raiders. So they're kind of scattered in there. One other thing I have that people always find fascinating is I've got Dark Horse stamped dynamic discs. Now you're like, how did you get that? Well, this was given to Brody whenever companies were trying to kind of court him and get him to sign with them. And once he signed with Discraft, he knew I was with Dynamic, so he gave them to me. I think these might be off limits, just because Brody gave them to me with the pretense I would never sell them. So you might not be able to pick these up. I'd have to ask Brody personally. He might not care anymore. He might just say, sure, go for it. So we'll have to see about that. But this is very rare because I'm the only person with, this is like Dymaxed Brody Smith Dynamic, and I've got a few different molds with it on there, which is pretty sick. But yeah, I got a good scattering of stuff because I threw Dynamic for a while, really enjoyed it. Got some awesome Raiders that I will eventually put in the bag. One cool one that somebody gave to me is this First Run Raider, this orange one. Really, really neat disc. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of Dynamic. This is a Felon that I got whenever I joined the team. It's got Eric and Tina Oakley's signature on there. Pretty neat that they did that for me. So yeah, that's my Dynamic section. Okay, one more shelf to go. Okay, so the last thing to show you here is just this top shelf. All my MVP and my Clash. So I don't have a ton of gyro stuff, not because I don't like it, it's just because I haven't really thrown a ton of it. A lot of the stuff up here is glitches, because similar to the Spore, it's just like the best catch disc ever. This one still has sand on it from the beach, because that's where I use these. I take them to the beach, and I mean, it's just like so much fun. And so that's a lot of the MVP I have. I have a couple MVs. I do have this Eagle McMahon MV that they dropped when he joined MVP. That's maybe my coolest MVP disc. I've got a cool Foundation custom stamp Pyro here. But yeah, don't have a ton of MVPs. If you're a gyro guy, like, got a few things here, but nothing crazy, sorry. And then Clash. I've had more Clash at some point, but I don't really know what happened to it. Obviously, I have some candies, the putter I used last year. Some of the cool stuff I have from Clash would be some of their tone plastic while they were prototyping it. So this is what you would know now as like the tone plastic with like the overmold sort of thing. This is when they were prototyping it. They sent these out that have like there's double steady. This wasn't toned. This was like their first attempt, I guess. And it's like two different types of plastic. They're like molded together. So that's some of the cool Clash stuff I've got. But yeah, that's the top row here, and that completes the collection. So there you have it, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and taking a dive through my collection. I think it's fun to look through, and there has been a lot of changes since the last time I did this video, well over a year ago. So thanks for watching, and good luck to everybody who joins in the giveaway. I just want to thank you once again for getting me to 30,000 subscribers. This channel, like, genuinely is really important to like me and my family. Like, the support that I get here does not go unnoticed, and it really means a lot to me that people continue to come here and support me and watch these videos, and I'll forever be grateful for that. And I just want to try to give back and, you know, do as much as I can. I try to respond to comments and like show that appreciation. I know I'm not as good as that as I should be, but this is just another way that I feel like I can give back to you. So remember, if you want to enter that giveaway, make sure you're subscribed, follow me on Twitter and X and Instagram, and then comment down below with your with a disc that you might like from this collection and one of your social media handles so that I can reach out to you. And I'm going to be picking 3 people to pick out 5 discs each from this collection. So best of luck to you. I'll try to get to picking the winners. I'll let the video breathe for a little bit before I pick the winners, so it'll probably be in the next week or so. So don't feel discouraged if a day or 2 goes by and you haven't been picked. And yeah, I'll just go through and pick those winners, and hopefully they enjoy the experience. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next week. I know this upload came in a day late because I've been super busy and actually got snowed in on Monday, so couldn't get to the office, but we'll be back on time next week on Monday, and I'll see you then.